stream.
We're live, by the way.
Yeah.
A little late, but who gives a shit? It's 2 minutes. Kill me at the stake, I guess.
I'm going to hold you responsible for this.
As am I.
It's crazy we're on to 217. We've read 217 SCPs.
Maybe a
That's
couple
like
more
a
than that.
crazy number, Mord. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Think about that. That's like 217 times.
He didn't get
Whoa.
it, chat.
I
Kill
didn't.
him.
I didn't get the joke.
Ridge, get the
Yeah.
screwdriver and hammer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting a crystal unboxing from Kelly on Snapchat. Give me a moment.
Read the clandestine document, fuckboy.
No, these are kind of awesome. It was a really cool
didn't
tiger's
ask.
eye, okay? It was a really cool tiger's eye.
Yeah, maybe there's a really cool tiger's eye in the document.
Alright, fuck, yap. Item number SCP-217. Is my webcam okay? I look a little small. I need to get like a new way to set up my webcam so that like it doesn't fall down every time I tap my desk. So I don't like be like scrunched up at the bottom of it. Alright.
Time is money. He looks like he'd be shooting British people. Also
Item
playing Fallout
number-
London.
What?
Time is money. He looks like he'd be shooting British people. Also playing Fallout London.
Oh, okay. Item number SCP-217. Object class Keter. Special containment procedures. Containment area is to be kept behind 2 reverse pressure airlocks, chemical shower sterilization, full contained atmosphere hazmat suits, and 24-hour post-interaction quarantine and testing are mandatory for all personnel entering containment area. Should containment be breached, the blast door for the containment and research area will seal and chemical agent ZER-21711 will be pumped into the air. Any humans exposed to SCP-217 are to be contained and held for observation. Any items touched by those affected by SCP-217 must be sterilized. Description: SCP-217 is a virus, incurable by current means, with a rate of infectivity at 100%. It affects all organisms in the kingdom Animalia and can spread via touch or contact with bodily fluid. SCP-217 is very hardy and can survive for years outside the host body. The progress of the infection is very slow, with some subjects going several years before manifesting any symptoms. SCP-217 alters the biochemistry of organic tissue, causing organic matter to rearrange into a form of organic metal. The processes involved with this change are not yet fully understood, but the advanced stages are well documented. A subject will begin to turn into a complex arrangement of gears and clockwork, these taking over the former biological functions. Advanced stage infection is reported to be very painful, but earlier stages are oftentimes unnoticed, and only vague feelings of confusion, insomnia, and joint stiffness. Hearts are replaced by gears and small tubes, joints by gear networks, eyes by structures not unlike primitive hang-crank film cameras, etc. SCP-217 shows first on the outside of the body in all creatures except mammals. In mammals, it first converts the internal structure before manifesting outside the body. This can cause those infected to go for very long periods of time without knowing of infection. SCP-217 has been shown to totally convert the inside of the body before showing any externally visible symptoms. SCP-217 has infected several major metropolitan areas in the past, most notably Redacted. The mental state of those in middle to advanced stages of infection has been shown to be much diminished. Subjects respond in a repetitive fashion and very dull and mechanical in action, are easily distracted and confused, and appear generally irritable when faced with new problems. In addition, research in a fully converted brain has redacted. Document 217-6. Notes on symptoms. Subjects infected by SCP-217 have at early stages reported no major symptoms aside from increased lethargy and a general lack of emotional response. Some have reported a feeling of fluttering or moving under the skin, coupled with a persistent ticking noise. This noise seems most prominent when SCP-217 infects the shoulders, neck, and head. However, it is inaudible if recording equipment is pressed against an affected area. Initial infection of SCP-217 is, as already been stated, almost undetectable. As the infection advances, subjects will begin to feel sharp, tearing pain in areas that are being converted. It has been compared to a knife wound or a deep muscle tear and can persist for hours or several days depending on the subject and the area affected. The new clockwork organs appear to tear and rip at tissue for a time, before becoming fully integrated and settled into the surrounding tissue, and this is believed to account for the pain. Areas infected appear to be metal, mainly brass, steel, and iron. Other substances have been reported appearing to be leather, rubber, glass, wood, and other basic materials. Despite appearances, it is purely organic material and even carries the subject's DNA. Organs and tissues affected appear more resilient than normal, carrying the same strength and density as the materials they resemble, instead of normal tissue density. Areas damaged repair over time, but is much slower than standard human regeneration. Damaged areas can be instantly repaired by replacing damaged areas with new parts of the same type. Testing has shown that there are no ill effects if parts made from normal materials, steel, wood, leather, replace the existing biomechanical clockworks. Most alarming, people infected with SCP-217 can continue for months, even years, without being detected. With infections so easy to spread, hundreds can be affected before proper containment can be enforced. Infection appears to spread most quickly in large offices, malls, and other concentrations of people. Note: anything or anyone suspected or confirmed to be infected with SCP-217 is not to be allowed near SCP-882. Addendum: at this time, cross-experimentation between SCP-229 and SCP-117 is only allowed with O5 approval. Okay.
Discord stream was a little fuzzy at the time, so I misread it as 682. I'm like, yeah, that's fair enough, but no, I don't know what 882 is off the top of my head.
We've touched on it before, apparently.
Oh yeah, we've been linked to it before. Okay, let's see
Yeah,
that
is this the machine that improves things? Yeah, it is,
no, that's
isn't it?
912
Oh.
or 913, one of the two. I think it's 913 actually. I don't remember where this one is.
I think this is the heart? Oh, now we can't bring it within range of SCP-271.
Do we want to look into this?
I'm just trying to see if it's what I think it is. I think this is Mechan's heart.
Okay.
The metal god of the Church of the Broken God.
Okay.
I think. Hold on. I just wanna... Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, alright, cool. I do not want to get into the whole Mechane mythos right now.
The hell with McCain. Just keep me away from Church of the Broken God, actually. I'm good.
Yeah. This is probably another similar Church of the Broken God.
We'll get here when we get there.
Yeah.
We're actually not far off. I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah. Would you like to take this one? Or shall I take it since it's kind of small and the last one wasn't too big?
You take this one.
Alright, that's fair. Item number SCP-218. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-218 is contained within a standard aquatic specimen tank, saltwater. Tank maintenance is to be carried out by remote drone only. No further procedures are required. Description. SCP-218 is a predatory colonial organism weighing approximately 1,800 kilograms, consisting of several hundred parasitic lampreys of the family... I'm not even gonna try. The family lamprey. Designated Lamprey anomalous. Individual lamprey anomalous specimens average between 50 and 90 centimeters in length and are similar in appearance to the common sea lamprey. Lamprey marinus, with the primary exception of complex ultraviolet spectrum skin patterning. Individual lampreys can break off from the primary mass and move under their own power, acting similarly to non-anomalous specimens. These motile units will remain in the vicinity of SCP-218's primary body until captured and eaten by colony members. The central mass of SCP-218 contains the organism's primary organs as well as a muscular foot for locomotion. SCP-218 is capable of surviving out of water for up to an hour, though it is generally inhibited in mobility. Motile units of SCP-218 produce a paralyzing toxin applied by bite or through the lamprey's mucus sheath. This toxin inhibits locomotor muscles and will numb the target to pain. All other internal and mental processes will continue unaffected. The paralyzing effect has not been observed to dissipate, and no effective counteragent has yet been discovered. Early observation led researchers to believe that SCP-2018 reproduced through the parasitic implantation of motile units into a host body. This behavior has since been determined to be atypical feeding behavior, where numerous motile units will burrow within the body of still living prey for upwards of 48 hours before normal consumption resumes. Addendum 1. Physical examination of SCP-218 shortly after containment revealed that the primary mass contained several foreign objects preserved within the main body cavity. SCP-218 was removed from its containment tank and tranquilized to allow for surgery. Objects removed from SCP-218 include 33 pearls averaging 3 centimeters in diameter. Holes bored through each indicate that they were previously part of a necklace. 1 dolphin figurine carved out of smooth coral. 2 gold bracelets, 4 bone hairpins, 1 tortoiseshell hair comb. 1 bone figurine of SCP-218 shows signs of heavy wear through handling. 1 human skeleton, being that of a female child estimated between 4 and 6 years of age. Skeleton was similar to chalk in consistency and embedded with 135 pearls.
Ugh.
Scapula, believed to be that of a red deer, engraved with 3 humanoid figures, 2 adults and 1 child, presumed to be the subject and parents. Both the skeleton and artifacts date to approximately 7500 BCE, though do not resemble the artifacts of other Neolithic groups in the region of recovery. Addendum 2. SCP-218's behavior became significantly more agitated after removal of the aforementioned objects. Entity would repeatedly beat against the walls of its tank or attempt to scale them. When one of the hairpins was placed back into the containment tank, SCP-218 used one of its colony members as a manipulator to retrieve the pin and then place it back inside its central cavity through means of a large sphincter. This dorsal sphincter was not present until the removal of the body and artifacts. Okay, I like that one.
It's neat.
Just a large mass of lamprey, I guess. Did it say, like, what kind of
Horrible.
shape they take, or is it just...
It's lamprey.
Yeah, it's just a group
It's
of
lamprey
lamprey as a large creature, and it said they make a foot? So I'm imagining it like a clam?
Huh.
That would make sense with all the pearls as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, which is...
Yeah, a muscular foot
Fucked.
for locomotion, which is what clams have. As well as, do snails have feet? Is that what they call the snail's body? I don't know. I'm imagining it
think
clam,
they
because that
have
makes the most sense.
I don't know.
Oh, all yours.
Alright.
Hold on, I want to read Ridge's comment on the last one. Eel that paralyzes you forever. Alright, continue.
Incredible. Just one moment. Alright. Item number SCP-219. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. When not in use, SCP-219 is to be kept in a dismantled state. All of SCP-219's parts, as well as replacements for those parts, will be stored in the Engineering Division warehouse on the grounds of Site-43. SCP-219 is not to be tested within 24 kilometers of any Foundation facility that houses Euclid or Keter class objects. Description: SCP-219 is a mechanical device consisting primarily of an array of pistons driven by an electric motor which can be powered by attaching it to a separate generator. The entire machine is supported by a thorium alloy frame. Yeah, the outer frame of each of SCP-219's pistons are also made primarily of the same thorium alloy. Attached to the outside of SCP-219 is a redacted IBM desktop PC, keyboard, and monitor, all shielded with shock-absorbent foam to prevent damage to them by SCP-219's vibrations. When SCP-219's computer is turned on, it automatically runs an earthquake generator program. Using the keyboard, a user can select up to 20 items from a list of commonly used construction materials, including multiple varieties of stone, soil, bricks, concrete, steel, iron, redacted, and glass. Selecting the Other option from the bottom of this list brings users to a different screen, enabling them to select other substances, including several types of wood, plastics, papers, and bone. A user may also choose to describe the properties of a material that is not currently on the list, name it, and save it to the list for future use. After selecting a given material, the user is asked to estimate the object's mass, volume, and select a general shape to describe it. It is not possible to key in the composition of SCP-219 into SCP-219. Any attempt to do so results in the computer displaying an error message and shutting down. That's fun. After materials have been selected, the user is asked to specify a range of effect from 50 feet, distances are given in English units, to redacted miles, and set 2 timers. One to determine how long SCP-219 will wait before activating once the program starts running, and one to determine how long it will run after it is activated. When all criteria have been filled in, the user may select Run to start SCP-219 or Start Over to enter a different set of criteria. SCP-219 cannot be shut down once a program begins running without being dismantled or damaged. Helix if you would. When activated, SCP-219's pistons oscillate and begin creating vibrations in the air to match the resonant frequency of the material selected by the user. Different sets of pistons create different resonances. These materials begin to vibrate and turn as they are struck by airwaves, eventually shattering or otherwise coming apart from the strain put on them by the oscillations. The waves created by each oscillator do not seem to have any effect on each other, even when they are traveling through the same media, enabling SCP-219 to resonate with many materials simultaneously. Studies of how this is possible, or how the effect might be duplicated, have been inconclusive. SCP-219 was recovered in Redacted, California, after an incident in which a heavy earthquake hit a city suburb without any prior warning from seismic geologists. Eyewitness reports gathered from survivors indicate the seismic disturbance had effects similar to that of a quake, registering an 8.8 on the Richter scale, over a space of only 20 kilometers. Estimation of the surrounding area showed far more subtle structural damage that should have been possible for a quake of any magnitude, and the bodies of multiple people who have died of internal cranial trauma, including several cases where the entire skull had apparently exploded. Foundation agents found SCP-219 in the rubble of a collapsed house, along with some packaging materials and spare parts. The house's previous owner was one Redacted, who was later found dead of a gunshot wound to the head in a hotel in Boulder, Colorado.
I'm glad that wasn't redacted. It's just in a hotel in Boulder, Colorado.
I like how the name was redacted, and he apparently ran from California to Colorado, and then someone shot him. It wasn't even them.
No, it was a suicide. He shot himself in the back of the head.
Ah, you're right.
So I
do
see
not specify
Richter scale
how.
and my brain just flashes an image of the guy from Castlevania.
Yeah. Included with the remains of the packaging was a diagram of a large funnel-shaped object attached with a complex of tubes to SCP-219, an instruction for how this resonance focuser was intended to be used. Its intended purpose, according to these instructions, was to channel the resonance waves generated by SCP-219 on a much more linear trajectory, increasing the range of the machine in a single direction by a redacted %. The instructions suggest several applications for this attachment, including a makeshift offensive wave cannon, a tunnel carving device, and a resonant annihilator function created by turning the focuser downwards. That is, towards the ground and parallel to the direction of Earth's gravitational pull. Okay, cool. And keying the composition of the Earth's core into SCP-219. The search for this missing attachment is still ongoing. Addendum. For those who wish to use SCP-219 for demolition purposes, note that SCP-219 will work most effectively if it is on level, solid ground. Also note that for buildings utilizing an internal metal frame for support, SCP-219 is better used to target the frame than the materials built around it. If SCP-219 is still running but the vibrations appear to have stopped, disconnect the power supply and check to see if the oscillators have ground away the surface underneath themselves. They may not work properly if the ground the machine is on is also shaking. You may need to move SCP-219 to a more durable foundation to ensure that it works properly. Consult User Manual 219-1 for more information.
I
Dr.
really
Chung.
like they just start using
Yeah.
this thing to like demolish
I mean,
buildings.
that's probably how they make so many fucking sites.
I mean, that is fair. Like, I feel like most of the time a site breaks itself down if it's out of commission, but still very useful.
No,
and
but,
I
like,
like seeing
about
them
it,
use
if you
SCPs
do it
for
right, you can
convenient things.
imagine you could just carve out a massive fucking hole in the ground downwards, and you just kind of go from there. You've got the basements. Well, you've got the depth for the basement set. You just gotta fill it in. Addendum. Despite the obvious similarities to Nikola Tesla's earthquake machine, see SCP redacted-redacted, SCP-219 clearly must have been built at least redacted years after Tesla's data expunged. Yeah? You sure?
Man, I wonder what that word could be.
Given what we know about redacted, it is most likely that whoever built SCP-219 simply took Tesla's designs and expanded on them. Dr. Chung.
I like the
Yeah.
idea that Tesla was just an anomaly creator as well in the SCP universe.
Yeah.
That's a man.
Well,
That was a pretty short one, or well, was it actually?
I'll
Hold
take
on,
this
wait.
one.
It's like medium.
That's... I mean, you took 2 mediums. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, it's fair. We don't know what these are, but
Well, let's have a look.
oh, you want to see now before we read? That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
too big.
Oh
not
yeah,
too
that's
big.
like nothing. Okay.
Yeah, alright, cool.
It's not like an epic that they've tucked away in a drop down. I'm fine.
Just the entire novel.
Man, I can't believe they've put Homer's The Odyssey in here.
I was gonna
Wow.
say. Item number SCP-220. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-220 is housed in a 1-bed, 1-bath unit in an empty condominium. The subject believes the building to be occupied by other residents and should persist in this belief. False bus stop has been installed near the building's entrance. This measure is sufficient to deter SCP-220 from leaving the containment area. The anomaly will approach the bus stop, sit on the adjacent bench, and remain there for 30 minutes to an hour before returning indoors. SCP-220's room is equipped with a telephone connected to an automated recording service. These recordings, in combination with several video surveillance feeds, are used to determine SCP-220's medical, dietary, and other personal needs. In light of Incident 220-P, in the event that in-person contact with the anomaly is absolutely necessary, only D-Class subjects may enter the containment area. Any person who has been exposed to SCP-220 must be quarantined immediately and maintained in complete isolation, including from phone or radio contact. Description: SCP-220 has the appearance of a multiracial, English-speaking human male. According to his birth certificate, he's 84 years old as of... Why am I stupid? 2012. SCP-220 is believed to be a single humanoid entity. Depending on the time of day, he will adopt the name, memories, and mannerisms of one of 2 distinct persons. Any human subject who converses with SCP-220, regardless of which mannerisms he has adopted, will perceive 2 physically distinct people instead of 1. From 5 a.m. EST until 8 p.m. EST, SCP-220 will identify himself as Ollie G, the name that corresponds with his birth certificate. From 10 p.m. EST until 5 a.m. EST, he will identify himself as Ormond Garibaldi. During the period between 8 p.m. EST and 10 p.m. EST, this distinction is unclear. Subjects do not exhibit fear, distress, or confusion when conversing with SCP-220. However, the effects of these conversations, perceiving the anomaly as 2 persons, appears to be irreversible. Regardless of whether an individual is informed of SCP-220's nature before or after their exposure to the anomaly, the recollection of speaking to both Ollie and Ormond will persist. If a subject's in-person contact with SCP-220 exceeds 5 minutes, they will begin to display additional signs of disorientation, easily forgetting their purpose in entering a room, the date and time, or the subject of a conversation. This effect, too, is irreversible. If a subject is in contact with SCP-220 for more than 10 minutes, this deteriorate... Motherfucker. Maybe I spoke to this guy and didn't know. This disorientation degrades to a state researchers have described as perception mitosis. Affected individuals will begin to perceive every person, and eventually every living thing and solid object, as two instead of one. Ugh. Acutely affected subjects appear to believe one or both of their conversation partners is a close friend or relative, regardless of their prior association with the individual. In the case of objects, the subject may interact with the original item as well as the empty space occupied by an illusory item, or they may lose spatial awareness altogether. Yeah, okay. A secondary, more serious effect of contact with SCP-220 was discovered during psychiatric evaluation of D-7905 by Dr. Palermo. D-7905 had been in conversation with SCP-220 for a period of 11 minutes. In the course of their subsequent psychiatric evaluation, they began to refer to Dr. Palermo alternatively as Doctor and Father. 30 minutes into this evaluation, Dr. Palermo also began to display signs of confusion, addressing the interviewee as both D-7906 and Anthony. This incident has established that SCP-220's effects may be highly contagious and spread via in-person contact. 15 individuals were subsequently quarantined, but not before it was discovered that the contagiousness of these symptoms increases with their severity. Individuals who observe SCP-220 via audio or audiovisual recordings demonstrate no anomalous effects, provided that these recordings do not take the form of a two-way conversation with SCP-220. Whether this is also true of individuals affected by SCP-220 has not been tested at this time. Addendum 1. On January 26, 2012, SCP-220 suffered a fall. D-9120 was instructed to assess the subject's injuries. SCP-220's emotional distress was observed to exacerbate his influence on D-9120, who became rapidly disoriented, forgetting her objective. D-9002 was instructed to retrieve D-9120 from the containment site and was also indisposed by these symptoms, though at a notably slower rate. D-9120 and D-9002 were subsequently quarantined. Addendum 2. The following is a complete list of requests made by SCP-220 via phone. Requests granted are supplied while SCP-220 is occupied with his daily ritual of walking around the building's lobby 5 times. Requests denied are communicated by a note of apology from the condominium's manager, citing the item's unavailability. Helix, if you would. Requests made by SCP-220 while identifying as Ormond. Arthur Conan Doyle's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Granted. A pair of silk house slippers. Granted. A French coffee press, grinder, and coffee beans. Granted. An electric kettle. Granted. A request that management post his open invitation to a chess tournament for other guests to see. Denied. Denial phrased as best postponed until the busy season. Requests made by SCP-220 while identifying as Ollie. A picture of his wife. Denied. Records indicate that Ollie Jean was never married. Granted. With permission, Assistant Researcher Evans has supplied a photograph of her deceased grandmother. Tylenol PM. Granted. Dosage limited to 2 tablets. An address book. Granted. SCP-220 has been observed to write in this book frequently. A request for a call to be put through to his granddaughter. Denied. SCP-220 has no record of family. Denial phrased as number unavailable. A bicycle. Denied. A guide to bird watching in Florida. Granted. A pair of binoculars. Granted. A chess set. Granted. Between the hours of 8 and 10 p.m. EST, SCP-220 has been observed intently engaged with the chessboard, crossing back and forth to play each side.
Oh, I kind of feel bad for him.
I like this. This is cute.
Yeah. Oh. So I kind of want to change the music. I'm not feeling this.
I was gonna
That
say
is not what I
Helix-
meant to do.
Helix, pick something that's not this. Yo, holy shit, is that
It's-
Zero Futurism? My god.
Mm.
Why didn't we just start with this?
Hmm.
Oh, never mind. Touch the button.
But that's the same one we've done the past like 3 times. God damn it.
All right, fuck you. Go back to Relax Cafe.
All
is what you
right
get.
then. I kind of don't like the instrumentals much. Like that one was like a lot of just like violin.
It says cello. It told you what it was about. This
I
one does
didn't
too.
read the title. I saw like a thumbnail and I clicked the button.
My fucking god, man.
It was just a Hollow Knight.
Ah,
These suck. Hold on, wait. The comments on this one.
these aren't real people.
Stream can't see it, but there's 3 whole comments on this video. 2 hearts on 2 separate, comments,
They're
and then
all
1
from
smiley
4 days
face.
ago. They're all a single emoji. That's unsettling.
Yeah,
In its
alright,
own way.
Zero Futurism. I want you. Do you have, like, other decent... What? Give me this one. It's really... It's like nothing there. Does it get louder? What do you think, Mord?
I mean, you could just turn it up.
I mean, like...
You don't have to crank it fully, but yeah, that's better, I guess.
Yeah.
Just having it not be dead air is what's important.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll take this one and then it's back to you.
Oh, you sure? You just read 2 mediums.
This is quick.
That's fair. It is. Alright.
Like, I saw the end of the page, basically, as it
you
pulled
look at
up.
the bar on the right side.
Yeah, that. Item number, SCP-221, Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-221 is to be kept in a locked storage container, or a locked container where it cannot be removed except for further testing by security clearance level 2 personnel. A bit weirdly worded, but alright. The container is a 15.25 centimeter by... I'm just gonna say cube, or squared, steel box with a cushioned interior with an internal locking system. The container is to be placed in a locked room with a guard to ensure that SCP-221 is not taken. Yes, you've clarified that this is locked and also locked, so that people cannot take it. That's how we store things in this place. Sorry. Okay. Description. SCP-221 is a pair of tweezers made out of gold, made in the 16th or 17th century. After subject testing, it was noted that the damaged areas which had been used to gather material samples were smaller than they had been prior to the test. It is currently theorized that SCP-221 uses the minute amounts of gold in the human body to regenerate damage to itself. Huh? I'm sorry, the what?
Okay, I got a question.
There's no fucking way. You could make gold out of the elements in a body, but...
0.2 milligrams.
Huh? Okay.
This is why typically I do just read the AI overview, because this is literally just that.
I mean, yeah, but also make sure to like read the thing underneath it as well, just in case, because sometimes they're on some bullshit.
Let's go to Reddit.
No.
I don't
How
know
many
what a
people
PPP
would I-
is.
How many people would I have to liquidate to get a gold bar?
I like to imagine.
How
even if
pure
you
is the
took,
gold
like,
in our body?
all humans on Earth and like took the gold out of their bodies and made a cube, it still wouldn't be enough for like anything.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of this meritocracy bullshit people want. How pure is the gold in your body? If it's not like at least 14 carats, your ass is getting D-class.
What if we just start melting down politicians for gold?
They have a slightly higher concentration. 0.3. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, they eat their food with the gold foil on it.
You mean they eat their food with the... I mean, they eat their goal with food on it. That's the one.
That's it, yeah.
Subject testing revealed that SCP-221 creates a highly focused case of obsessive-compulsive disorder in any person which uses it on their own body. Subjects will utilize SCP-221 to slowly remove any and all hair from their bodies before removing finger and toenails as well as teeth, accumulating in the removal of organs, both the external, such as the eyes and the skin, and the internal, such as the liver and pancreas, using their hands if SCP-221 is not effective, though SCP-221 will never be set aside during this process and remains gripped in one of the subject's hands. If SCP-221 is taken away from the subject, they will become violent and manic, and will use their hands to continue the process, albeit in a less careful manner. It is noted that the progression of this behavior is different for each subject, but no less fatal.
Yeah.
SCP-221 came into Foundation possession after reports of a human being who was redacted. Foundation personnel retrieved SCP-221 within 10 hours of the original report. Addendum. Test Log 221-1. The test subject, a Class D, was ordered to use SCP-221 to remove his eyebrow hair. While the subject was initially unenthusiastic about his task, after the first 10 minutes he began to more actively pluck out his own eyebrow hair, and after completely denuding his brow, moved on to plucking out his eyelashes, despite repeated assertions that the test was over. When released after SCP-221 was taken out of the room, he began to pluck out his eyelashes with his own fingers, completely removing all of them before moving on to his toenails. The subject completely removed his toe and fingernails before yelling and smashing his own face against the wall. The reason for this outburst became apparent when he reached into his mouth and began ripping out his now loosened teeth. Eventually, the subject died from blood loss and shock, halfway through the process of pulling out his own internal organs. Test Log 221-2. The test subjects were 2 D-Class personnel. Test Subject 1 ordered to use SCP-221 on the other Class D Test Subject 2. After 15 minutes, the test subjects began to argue about how the holder of SCP-221 was using it on the other. The test subjects began to fight for use of SCP-221. Test Subject 1 used SCP-221 to stab Test Subject 2 through the eye, piercing into the brain, immediately killing him. Test Subject 1 began to use SCP-221 to remove his own eyelashes, continuing to his teeth and eyes. Test Subject 1 died of blood loss after removing 73% of the skin on his body.
Jesus.
I like the concept of this one, but I think
to watch, dude. That's gotta be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Watching like 2 grown-ass men, presumably sitting like crisscross applesauce on the floor of a containment
this
chamber.
is like the advanced
like,
form of
picking at
watching
each
2
other.
like chimps pick out lice from each other's hair.
Yeah, but like more gruesome.
Yeah, advanced. Okay, so I like the concept of this one. I think I have heard of this one before. I think this one needs like a rewrite. It's very strangely written to me.
Yeah. I do like that they are kind of rewriting like SCP articles, like the one we did, like the End of War or whatever it was called, or To End All Wars. That one was really well rewritten.
Oh yeah.
Like DJ Cactus is a fantastic author. I do wish there was like a link to the old article, however, on the page. You can still view it through like the Wayback Machine like we did, but like I really wish that they did still have the old one archived just for anyone who is looking for the originals.
Or like, I know there's almost certainly a way that they could do it, but it would probably be a pain with how big the site is by now.
Something quick I want to bring up. This is an entirely different SCP that I just think is a cool concept. The Foundation records a lot of media and needs to catalog all of that media, and there's this one SCP, like, I don't know, I think it was like in the 8,000s. Where it's just like, it's this one kind of penitentiary, like this prison. It's a prison in like an extra dimensional space where they have D-Class. Basically, they just run through all of the reports and videos and stuff, and some shit happens there, and I think it's really cool. I like the logistics of it.
That is kind of fun. They just, alright, fucker. You're on info detail.
Yeah, they just sit there and they watch like videos, like 8-hour video footage of surveillance, and like sometimes just literally nothing happens, and they have to flag it as like, hey, this isn't anything, or like other stuff. And there's like this, what's it called? How do I word this? Reward system. They get put on a leaderboard based off of how much they contribute, and that helps with the productivity.
It's a fucking loyalty
put
program for
Yeah.
sifting through security footage.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway, next one.
All right, back to you.
Sorry, I'm below clearance level 3, so you're gonna have to take this one, I think.
I didn't ask.
Goddamn. Alright. Item number SCP-222. Object class Euclid. This document not for use by personnel below clearance level 3. Special containment procedures. SCP-222 itself requires no special containment. It also cannot be moved. The site is guarded by SCP Foundation personnel as well as a rotating mix of US, Italian, and NATO soldiers, none of whom were aware of its significance. Foundation personnel travel to and from the site very often, and their true numbers are carefully hidden from the soldiers, and usually from personnel below clearance level 3. Description: SCP-222 designates an area of tunnels in the Dolomites Mountains near Aviano, Italy. The site is close to the Church of St. Gregory, and Aviano Air Force Base is also nearby. The tunnels are filled with carved stone coffins. One coffin in particular has unusual properties, and some portion of the tunnels is also involved. The carvings in the tunnels appear very old and of fairly good workmanship. History: after 1948, U.S. operatives in Italy participating in Operation Gladio began receiving word of unusual activities at the site. In 1954, Aviano Air Base was turned over to NATO. On February 22, 1955, Foundation operatives found a series of tunnels carved into the mountains. They appeared to be catacombs, tunnels for storing the dead. Archaeological research into their construction has yielded contradictory results. See SCP-222, 7 through 9. The tunnels were being used as a hideout by a terrorist cult. All members of the cult were killed or taken into custody. Operation details filed in SCP-222, 1 through 5. The cult appeared to be less mentally stable than most such organizations, but otherwise unremarkable. However, details turned up during the operation prompted further investigation. Once the nature and abilities of the site were determined, it became one of the most used and visited objects under Foundation care. I really appreciate actually putting dates in this format, as well as not just, like,
Numbers.
redacting them. It makes it so much easier to read. I understand it's not quite the same vibe, but fuck off. It's so much easier to read.
I wish I weren't dog shit at reading dates.
Yeah. Same here. Function. As previously stated, one and only one coffin in the tunnels has unusual properties. See SCP-222-6 for a summation of all tests done to date and clarifications of items below. If a living person is placed into the coffin and it is closed, the following sequence of events occurs. Within 15 minutes, the occupant falls asleep. Is this just a fucking Dark Souls shortcut to that one area?
Oh, what?
The one part of Dark Souls where you
know.
get into a coffin and wake up in the boss area or whatever.
Where you get abducted by a Skippleton?
Yeah, go fight Grave Lord Nita.
Nonsense, you don't fight him there. You speak to him there, and then you fight him later.
The occupant will fall asleep under any circumstances, such as, but not limited to, being in the middle of a claustrophobic fit, or being given amounts of caffeine and amphetamines close to causing an overdose. The occupant sleeps for 1 to 2 hours. Opening the coffin during this time usually results in the death of the occupant and no further results. The occupant wakes up, feeling well rested. The occupant will not fall asleep until the coffin is opened again. The possibility of sleep deprivation research has been advanced but not yet implemented. Within 24 hours, a person will be found within the tunnels who is a duplicate or clone of the occupant. No attempts to find the origin of the clone within the tunnels have ever been successful. The clone invariably finds its way to the coffin, though it usually appears to be wandering aimlessly. I said that really weird. Clones created by the Coffin appear in all physical respects to be identical to their originals, though dressed in tattered rags of unknown origin. Man-made objects are not duplicated. The cloning process is not recommended for occupants with tooth fillings or pacemakers. Clones appear to possess the same lifespan and medical conditions as their originals. The most unusual aspect of a clone is its mind. Clones appear to be victims of global retrograde amnesia. Languages are retained along with most physical skills. While clones cannot remember any people or events, they appear to retain their ethical beliefs and loyalties, and thus can usually be quickly re-indoctrinated into Foundation personnel. Security procedures must be retrained, but combat and weapon skills are preserved. Some clones demonstrate retention of computer and interrogation skills as well. I can see where this is going.
This is both really cool and really fucked.
Yeah. Many Foundation personnel have been cloned with SCP-222, providing a loyal workforce for the Foundation initiatives. It is one of our most obviously useful items. Addendum. Document SCP-12 Indoctrination Issues. Lieutenant Redacted's clone was brought to a mock-up KGB indoctrination center where he was brainwashed into becoming a KGB spy. He was a native of the USSR, so this was considered a useful test of the clone's attitudes. The clone eventually rebelled against the brainwashing and was prepared to die rather than submit. At that point, the training exercise was ended and he was welcomed as a loyal Foundation member. However, Redacted's clone was given a standard indoctrination, but it rebelled and proclaimed allegiance to an Afghan terrorist group. It was terminated, and questioning of the original Redacted revealed that the beliefs had been accurately copied. Oh. Addendum. Document SCP-222-13. Call for clone psychiatric sociological analysis. General Redacted maintains that cloned personnel display behavior patterns and habits that cannot be accounted for by simple amnesia. He cites a statistically significant higher incidence of mental illness, particularly homicidal tendencies, among clones when compared to original personnel. Addendum. Document 222-14. Second generation clones. Clones may themselves be cloned, though records show this has only been performed twice. The second generation clones were observed to have marked mental differences. Both were resistant to indoctrination, and Foundation psychiatrists returned a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder. However, intelligence and mental ability were measured at equal to or greater than the original clones, or even the originals. Further investigation is warranted. Addendum. Document SCP-222-15. Clone Decks. Redacted has been called for an effort to catalog all clones in Foundation employ and the verification of the locations of each of them, as there appear to be consistent reports that the Foundation has more personnel than is recorded. Addendum. Document SCP-222-17. Clone Approval Orders. By order of 05-2, all cloning activities must be recorded with a work order and must be approved by non-cloned personnel of at least Clearance 4. Addendum. Document SCP-222-21. Clone Visual Identification. As a result of the nearly successful Site Redacted takeover attempted by the clone of General Redacted, wherein Redacted, all current and future clones are to be tattooed on the forehead and back of both hands with a simple C. This should negate the possibility of a clone impersonating its original for nefarious purposes.
That's pretty fucked in a way. But
Nefarious
again, nothing about this is
purposes.
ethical.
I like this one. This one is good.
Oh no, conceptually this is fantastic.
Yeah.
It also kind of explains away their shortage of D class
Yeah.
to a point. Just like, all right, get in the box.
We've just got like 70 copies of this guy.
Every month we're gonna take you fuckers back to the cave.
Fucking imagine being the poor D class when they need food for SCP number 78. Like, I just picked the number. I don't remember what SCP-78 is. It's just like they need to feed this
We're gonna
SCP
feed
and
you.
it only eats human meat.
We're
Alright,
feed you to people
D82,
if you-
get in the box. And he just does that for like a day straight of falling asleep, getting taken out of the box, falling asleep, getting taken out of the box. Read 166, she's your favorite. We can do a refresher on 166, but we won't be reading it, because we've already read 166 on stream already. I missed. Is that the Star Child?
I think it might be.
The teenage Gaia. Oh, this is the one with what's his name? The
Oh yeah, this one. I like this one.
God, what was his name? The agent, the really cool guy.
Paul McCartney?
No, not not Paul McCartney.
But he's pretty cool. Also,
105. We've read. Oh, Agent Clef. Yeah, him.
Okay,
We've read
so Amelia,
everything
real
from
quick.
one. We're going in order. We've read everything
Yeah,
to
we
one.
are going
to,
in numerical order with like a few exceptions
Yeah.
for suggestions.
We've gone from 1 to 223 now. Over like how long have we been doing this? It hasn't been a year yet.
Definitely hasn't been a year, but it's been a bit.
Yeah. You're welcome to make suggestions. We have a point redeem for that. Just please try to make
It's
it
dirt cheap, so.
Yeah. Try to make it ahead of 223 if possible, by a margin, so that we're reading things that we haven't already read. What was 105?
I don't. Why do I not recall? I should know this.
Oh, it's Iris.
Iris.
There's
Yeah.
actually, did I mention this when we read this? There's like a fucking light novel based off of Iris.
I'm not surprised. It's a cool concept.
Yeah, I believe it's called Iris Through the Looking Glass. I actually own the physical copy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I liked it.
Wow. Also, huh? What?
What?
Huh? What?
What are you saying? Huh? What for?
The fucking images that were on the images tab. Huh? What?
This is just the cover of the book.
I'm more so mean the fucking shoulder slip there, but you know.
What do you mean? Don't worry about that.
Anyways, can we get back to reading things now?
Flower. Yeah. Would you like to take this one?
No.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Item number
You're not done, fucker.
SCP-223. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-223 is kept in a locked containment vault in Site-19. If the two photos missing from SCP-223 are recovered, they should be stored in two separate, specially prepared vaults at Site-17. Any personnel who see any anomalies appear anywhere in SCP-223 must be reassigned to another project immediately. Such personnel must be kept under observation for mental instability, including tri-weekly examination by a site psychiatrist, and are advised to minimize their exposure to photographs of any kind. Description: SCP-223 is a photo album capable of holding 30 photos, bound like a small hardcover book. The photos are attached to the pages with an unknown adhesive. It matches the appearance of a product made by Redacted, but lacks any brand label. From Danny, with love, has been written on the back in blue ink. SCP-223 contains 28 photos which chronicle an engaged couple's vacation to Redacted Beach. The final 2 pages of the album have been ripped out. The couple in the photos has been positively identified as Redacted and Redacted, who went on the vacation depicted June of Redacted. Redacted and Redacted died on June Redacted in a murder-suicide by Redacted. Redacted's suicide note claimed he found his fiancée in bed with another man and killed her. However, no evidence of such an affair was ever found. There was one
Call
other
them
person...
E and L.
Huh?
Call them E and L.
I don't think it mentions them again.
Okay, if it comes up though.
There was one dive at the very end.
Them.
There was one other person who frequently appears in the photos of SCP-223, a Caucasian male with attractive and somewhat androgynous features, designated SCP-223-1. Based on his behavior in the photos, he seems to be a friend of the couple. All attempts to determine the identity of SCP-223-1 have proven fruitless. SCP-223-1 does not appear in photos and recorded footage of SCP-223, although careful comparative analysis of the photos and redacted. Occasionally, persons reading SCP-223 will see the likeness of their romantic interest in one or more of SCP-223's photos, replacing an incidental bystander. Independent observers can verify that the photos do in fact change, however these anomalies are always discovered by the individual they most concern. SCP-223 seems to target readers who are in a stable, happy romantic relationship with these anomalies. SCP-223 apparently can only target one person at a time this way. If the discoverer of the anomaly, hereafter the target, continues to read SCP-223, their perceptions of the album's contents will change radically. While any other reader continues to see the original photos, the target will see an album of photos of their romantic partner interacting with an androgynous but attractive member of the target's sex. The target invariably reacts with jealousy and suspicion, and if allowed, will search for the final 2 pages, believing that the contents will prove whether or not the target's partner is cheating. The effects of SCP-223 on a given target wear off completely within 1 week unless the target is exposed to new photos or SCP-223. At this point, the current target's love interest's likeness will vanish from the album and the target can safely view ordinary photographs. A former target attempting to view SCP-223's photographs will see redacted. If not allowed contact with SCP-223 following the initial discovery, the target's perceptions of other photographs will also be altered. The nature of these alterations varies depending on the content of the photos, but the majority involve the inclusion of humanoids similar to SCP-223-1. Pictures including both the target and the target's romantic partner seem to be the most psychologically damaging to view. Exposure to a sufficiently large number of photographs seems to cause a brainwashing effect in the target, creating a strong delusion of great danger that can only be resolved by returning the missing photos to SCP-223. Give me a moment. This appears to be caused by a long succession of subliminal signals and traumatizing images rather than by any actual psychic influence. Psych Report 223-6, Dr. Morris, Interview Log. What do you want to be more?
I can be Morris, I guess.
Please be seated. How long has it been since your first exposure?
About a week? Yeah, that's right. 7 days. It's all kind of blurred.
How do you feel?
Sort of paranoid, edgy, like he's watching me from somewhere, somehow. Any update on the missing photos?
Who do you mean by he?
The man we called 223-1. From the photos, he's...
Yes. Now, have you been exposed to any photos since your last visit?
No.
Good. What do you see here? Photo is of a grizzly bear drinking from a pool.
It seems to be a photo of 2 bears mating.
Very well. And this? Photo is of a bed. No figures present.
A naked man seated on the bed. Look, it's been a week, right? You can let me go? I've gotta find those photos.
You seem extremely interested in SCP-223's missing photographs. Why?
I've gotta prove Lily's innocence.
Dr. Morris, your wife is in no danger. We discovered nearly 20 photographs hidden in and around your quarters, Dr. Morris. Whatever you saw in those photos is not real.
Liar! You're working for them, aren't you?
Take him away for now.
Wait, when can I see Lily again?
Log ends. Note, Morris was given a Class A amnestic and has now returned to his full duties. Mrs. Morris has been informed that her husband is dead.
L.
Oh! No! Oh.
This is so sad.
Addendum 223-1. Further analysis of E's autopsy report indicates that several of the wounds found on his body could not have been self-inflicted. Therefore, suicide has been ruled out as a cause of death. There is no evidence of anyone other than E entering or leaving the scene of the crime for at least 24 hours before and after his death, although redacted on the was.
Wow.
Alright, that one's neat.
Interesting.
The set of photos that makes you think your partner is cheating.
Wow.
I think it's your turn?
Alright. Hang on 1 second. Forgot to put these back on. Item number SCP-224. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Item SCP-224 is to be stored in a soundproof enclosure with acoustic destructive interference nodes. Nodes must be replaced on a weekly basis by remote means due to the erratic nature of SCP-224's effect. Non-Class D personnel are not to enter the enclosure. Additionally, SCP-224's enclosure must be kept free from moisture to avoid rapid oxidation. In the event that the clock begins to chime, all personnel must evacuate the area and the location should be secured under Protocol Z-77. Description: SCP-224 is a wooden grandfather clock, accented with a black lacquer and gold leaf. Markings, remotely observed, date its origins at the end of the 19th century. Though internal examination of its components has been done, the density and construction of its gears make method of function impossible to interpret. The hands of the clock do not move with any known consistency, though the tendency seems to be generally clockwise. Additionally, chimes occur at non-regular intervals, ranging from approximately 1 minute to several months. To further complicate matters, the numbers on the clock also have a tendency to move and shift, though they generally retain ascending order. Each chime has an anomalous acoustic signature that causes a drastic, localized temporal acceleration. People and objects in range of the sound begin to age. The amount of time is not consistent with the chimes, ranging from essentially inconsequential amounts to several years, though the amount aged during any single event is consistent for all objects within the field of effect. SCP-224 was originally found in the Redacted Antique Shop and purchased by Mr. Redacted as a gift for his wife. When brought home and wound, the anomalous properties were noticed, though not acted upon, with apparently considering the object broken. Their bodies were discovered in their collapsed house 2 days later, aged significantly. Foundation personnel monitoring Redacted took interest, and SCP-224 was subsequently recovered. Agents Redacted and Redacted were unfortunately lost following exposure during transportation. Any instances of SCP-224 retaining any numeric pattern for an extended period should be filed to Dr. Simmons, crossed out Dr. Locke. Failure to do so will result in suspension and possible demotion. Addendum SCP-224 Catalog Incidents. Due to repeated errors on the part of the maintenance crews working on containment for SCP-224, Dr. Simmons insisted that the following report be spread among the on-site work crews to fully stress the importance of SCP-224's containment. After its circulation, it was added to the primary case file for historical purposes. Today, I had the pleasure of informing Agent Redacted that he is to be given retirement pay and is free to leave active duty as of this evening. It was not initially approved by Director Redacted until I explained the circumstances. Agent Redacted, who is the father of Alice and husband of Marilee, was walking past the SCP-224 containment facility on Friday, March 17th, 1980 Redacted. He was reporting to his supervisor's office to deliver the final report on SCP Redacted, which he was instrumental in helping acquire. Because SCP-224's effect is so unpredictable, he had no way of knowing that the object had activated until the acoustic dampening equipment failed, leading to the collapse of the wall. At this time, Agent Redacted was exposed to seven iterations of SCP-224's effects. The first one saw him aged into his mid-30s. Those of you who have seen the video are aware that this wasn't a drastic change. However, by the second exposure, he was now well into his 40s. There was significant graying of hair. By the third iteration, he was balding, and we estimate his age had reached into the early 60s. By the fourth, his skin had noticeably wrinkled, with liver spots appearing in several places. By the sixth iteration, Agent Redacted collapsed due to a broken hip, fracturing several ribs in his left arm. It was at this time that he lost control of his bowels and bladder. When the seventh iteration ended, containment had to be manually re-established. At this time, Agent Redacted is established to be over 100 years old. Or is estimated. Holy shit. As a note, Agent Redacted volunteered for termination and examination of SCP-224's effects. Should the retirement pay he was now technically entitled to be rewarded to his family. I heartily thank Director Redacted and Agent Redacted for giving us this opportunity to study SCP-224's effects. I hope you'll remember in the future that, while some SCPs kill immediately, others do not. Others leave lingering effects that have ramifications for the people and the families of the people who are subjected to them. Dr. Rasmussen was down the hall from Agent Redacted. He is now 35 years old. He is now a 35-year-old man in an elderly body. Assistant researcher Jessup, who was pregnant when she was exposed in the same incident, died when her child was forced through her abdomen. Her son is a 40-year-old man with the mind of an infant. Dr. Quinn's undiagnosed case of bladder cancer consumed his entire abdomen in a matter of moments. Please keep these incidents in mind before failing to replicate the perfectly fine acoustic nodes, or replace the perfectly fine acoustic nodes in the containment enclosure. Dr. J. Simmons, Head of Containment, SCP-224.
That one's good. I like that one.
That's...
Yeah. Very, very messed up, but, like, I like anyone that, like, gives...
The only things that were redacted were, like, specific SCPs that weren't relevant, names...
Yeah.
Like, specific names.
Like, what I really liked about it is how it portrays the Foundation. Like, hey, this man had no way of knowing this was going to happen to him. We are going to take care of his family. He sacrificed what was going to be left of his life just to help further the research of this thing. I don't care if you approve this or not. We're giving the family retirement pay.
I really appreciate the fact that it was made as a stipulation as well, because yeah, I imagine they probably wouldn't have immediately sprung to it, but I appreciate that they compromised with it's like, okay, yeah, fine.
This is also so fucked right here.
That's on so many levels.
So fucked up. We got an ad break for 20 seconds.
This is so sad.
That one was good though.
Yeah.
This one is on, so you can have this one as well. Just give it a moment.
Ball?
Ball? Ball? Ball?
Ball.
I like that it's just lower and lower res. Those are different things.
The orb.
They threw it really far.
Orb. Alright, I think you should be good now.
Alright.
So, hello, Puggles. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, holy shit.
Go
Item
ahead.
number SCP-225, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-225-1 is contained at Site-65 for study and experimentation. No guards are necessary for the object itself, as theft is impossible, and the object is harmless for the moment. Ongoing tests are to be made to find a way to eliminate SCP-225-1, or at least find a way to move it from its position in a controllable fashion. SCP-225-2 is yet attainable and should be monitored as best as possible as it travels, with constant updates as to its current position, speed, and trajectory, along with projections as to its estimated position for the next 50 years. I say. As of this writing, SCP-225 poses no immediate threat. However, in the event that a collision course with SCP-225-1 is detected, SCP-225 is to be immediately upgraded to Getter, and every effort must be made to find a way to alter SCP-221 or SCP-225-1 or -2 from their courses. All Foundation resources are to be made available for this objective should a collision ever become probable. Planetary evacuation plans are to be drawn as a precaution. And as are revised containment procedures for Keter-level items whose containment being compromised by redacted would not also result in the item's immediate destruction.
I really like items oh yeah, it's completely and entirely safe, just keep them in a box. However, the world will end if this ever comes into contact with this aluminum ball. So just keep it far away.
The world if the two aluminum balls touch. Okay, I'm just gonna do -1 and -2 for brevity, I think.
That's fine. Completely fine.
Okay. Dash 1 and Dash 2 are shiny, gray metallic spheres of unknown origin and composition, each with a diameter of 0.681 meters. SCP Dash 1 appears stable and motionless, but is in fact moving in a geosynchronous path above Earth at the exact speed of Earth's rotation, maintaining its relative position at all times. Gravity, magnetism, and all other forces tested have had no effect upon it, and maintains position approximately 7.3 meters above the surface. No amount of force brought to bear upon it in any direction has any effect upon its position. Any tools and weaponry tested have no effect on it physically. SCP-2 follows a path around the Sun that is normally synchronous with Earth's. It does not orbit Earth. Earth rotates under it, given the illusory appearance of traveling around the Earth at velocities usually ranging from 1,600 to 2,000 kilometers per hour, depending on its current relative altitude. It does not technically orbit the Sun either. It appears to be moving under its own power via unknown means. Its course has not been entirely predictable. Differences between Dash 2's path and Earth's orbit move the planet closer to or further away from Dash 2, within a surprisingly small level of variance today. Since it was first observed and redacted, it has never reached a relative altitude of less than 10 kilometers, generally staying between redacted kilometers to redacted kilometers above the surface, though it has moved as far away as data expunged, resulting in a temporary loss of contact in redacted. Contact reestablished in after lunar impact incident. I love the white boxes so much. They fill me with glee. Similarly to Dash 1, no force or weaponry brought to bear upon it has had any effect. Though testing on it is significantly more difficult, time-consuming, and resource-intensive due to the variation in its relative position. Addendum. To summarize, no effort to move or damage Dash 1 has any effect, and no effort to stop or damage Dash 2 has any effect. Dash 2 destructively travels through any object in its path without pause and or pushes it out of the way, regardless of that object's composition. Dash 1 is unaffected by any amount of force brought to bear upon it in any direction. While individually each object is not, as of yet, a major concern, there are cataclysmic implications should the two objects collide. Projections based upon the estimated amount of material contained between the two objects, 0.3 cubic meters, approximately 2,600 kilograms, show that should the objects annihilate each other, they would release at minimum the power of a redacted gigaton nuclear explosion, potentially much higher depending on what they are constructed of. Since all tests thus far have shown that neither Dash 1 nor Dash 2 can be damaged or moved by any means known, the possibility also exists that neither object would be annihilated, halted, or altered from their course even by contact with the other. If this is true, then a collision between Dash 1 and Dash 2 has the potential to redacted. In this circumstance, planetary evaluation may not be sufficient and data expunged should time permit before or data expunged.
I really like how most of the interesting parts of this article were expunged.
Okay, yeah, unstoppable force, immovable object. That's
the
cool.
unstoppable force
really
meets the immovable object, and then who fucking knows what happens after that? But leave the planet, just in case.
Simple. Simple. Kaboom! Explode. Please stop using data expunged so much. I beg of you.
Alright.
Alright, I'll take this one and then it's back to you, fucker.
Bitch! Fine.
Item number. SCP-226. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-226 is to be kept in a locked cabinet within the Site-Redacted Secure Item Storage Unit. Any person wishing to use SCP-226 must have approval from any personnel with at least Level 3 security clearance. Description. SCP-226 is a cardboard box measuring roughly 30 by 20 by 4 centimeters. It has a lid that fits securely over the bottom half, as with any common puzzle blocks. The surface of the box is a deep black with the word "fear" scrawled in white ink on the upper right corner of its lid. Within the box are 1,000 cardboard puzzle pieces, each measuring roughly 2 centimeters in diameter, also considered SCP-226. When completed, the puzzle always forms a rectangular shape. However, the design and order in which the pieces fit together can change with use. SCP-226 aligns itself with whoever initially opens the box. When opened, the pieces change design, and the completed image will show what has been discovered to be the greatest fear of the person who it is aligned to. The image on the pieces do not change after the box has been opened. Recorded images on SCP-226 are as follows. A bloated corpse sinking underwater. A set of gallows with several nooses attached. A person screaming with hundreds of small spiders crawling out of his mouth. Fair enough. A darkened window with a mutilated hand scraping across it. SCP-682! Yeah. A human figure completely covered in various insects such as bees or centipedes. The cross-section of a coffin buried in dirt, with a person inside slamming her fists on inside of the lid. When completed and taken back apart, the lid of SCP-226's box will fly through the air and secure itself back on the lower half. The puzzle pieces will disappear, presumably returning back into the box. SCP-226 will then become unaligned and align itself with the next person to open the box. Additional notes. SCP-226 was first discovered by the now-defunct Mobile Task Force Team Redacted 12 in the 1900s. At the time, the task force was investigating reports of a possible SCP in a series of tunnels underneath a church in the city of Redacted. Due to an equipment malfunction, MTF-12 had lost communication with the surface and was stranded within the tunnels until repairs were made. The task force discovered SCP-226 on a wooden table within a stone room, surrounded by several chairs. Believing it to be a simple puzzle, MTF-12 decided to open SCP-226 to pass the time. When completed, SCP-226 depicted the exact scene of MTF-12 sitting at the table working on a puzzle. However, Agent 1 Redacted appeared to be viciously stabbing several other members of the task force with a standard-issue combat knife. The puzzle was taken apart, transporting back into his box. Repairs were soon made, and MTF-12 returned to the surface. Note: regrettably, an accident en route to the surface caused the death of Agent T. Great.
What kind of accident?
Whoops. My knife slipped.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the back of the head.
I like
Damn
this
it!
one because I just imagine they complete the puzzle and then it's just like a jump scare to the person who completed it.
I like the idea that they don't. It's not stated, but I like the implication that either A, they know what it is by like, I don't know, a third of the way through the puzzle and they keep making it to scare themselves, or even funnier, they themselves cannot process what the image is until it's completed. As soon as the last piece is there,
I really like that one. I really like that image. It's just like genuinely no idea what it is, but the moment that last piece is placed, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a picture of Shy Guy. Fuck.
It's a pristine, almost like photo-esque picture of SCP-682. The moment he slots like the final corner piece on, he has a
That is crazy that this could just be a picture of 96. This could just be a picture of Shy Guy if that's what the person
Oh god,
is
you're
afraid
right!
of. That is terrifying! That's
God.
insane!
Oh no! Helix, imagine if this was given to the director who was in charge of that fucker.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
crazy.
Actually, well, it would be debatable whether that's his biggest fear. I would say so, but...
Yeah, I'd say SCP-96 could be a lot of people's biggest fucking fear, I'll be honest, because it's just a death sentence. Okay, we've got a suggested SCP. 6868. Should be under this, I believe.
Well, let's see what it is.
Oh, nope, I was wrong. I need one more. I'm right-clicking, by the way. Okay, there we go. I ordered a new mouse. It should be here Wednesday, and God, I'm so excited. Wait a minute, is that who I thought? The serpent that loosed the water was leopard.
Avalon! Wait a minute.
6868. What a title. Bubbly Bobby
Huge.
the Rubber
Immediately
Ducky.
followed by The Sad Man.
Oh. Oh god! No! No! Oh, look at it! It's terrifying! Oh, there's a text message. Okay. I'm assuming this one's mine, and then we
Have
take
at
over
it.
there. Alright, cool. I will not be, like, I can read the description. Item number
Just
6868. Containment class safe. Disruption class dark. Risk class danger. Special containment procedures. SCP-6868 is to be contained in a standard animate object containment unit at Site 228. All handling of SCP-6868 is to be performed while wearing gloves. SCP-6868 is not to be brought near any liquids. Description: SCP-6868 is an animate and sentient rubber duck toy, which is 9 by 9.5 by 8 centimeters large. On its bottom, a stylized W has been printed in purple. SCP-6868 is able to maneuver itself solely with small jumps. Oh my god, that sounds adorable. That sounds so cute. Since recovery, SCP-6868 has refused all attempts at communication, hopping away from any person.
Fuck you.
It's
I don't like you.
antisocial.
I don't like you.
Hopping away from any personnel attempting to come near it. It has been determined that SCP-6868 has hepophobia. Fear of human contact or being touched. Okay.
Heptophobia? Or hepophobia, whatever.
Yeah.
Phobia
Its
names
main
are
anomalous property is triggered upon physical contact with any liquid. SCP-6868 is able to transform liquid substances into purified water and pink soap bubbles. The bubbles then form small animate replicas of various types of ships, submarines, and airplanes, which then start to fly and sail autonomously.
It's just Bubble Buddy.
These bubbles are noted to be edible and taste similar to strawberries.
It's just Bubble Buddy, but a duck. I love him.
They taste similar to strawberry. I swallowed shampoo. Probably gonna die.
I mean, it says it's edible, but like, what?
Oh,
How?
I don't know.
Is
It's an
this
anomaly.
like edible in the same way that wax is edible, or
It tastes like strawberries.
what's
so.
the nutritional value of fucking?
What's the
anomalous
nutritional
bath
value
soap?
of the SCP bubbles? I'm trying to watch my diet.
Also, yes, thank you, Puggles. This is gonna be a
Th-
treat. I can already tell.
This is a great one. I love it. This anomalous property is capable of converting No, I didn't read that. That is part of it. Okay. This anomalous property is capable of converting liquid to purified water at a speed of 5 liters per second. This process is automatic, with SCP-6868 seemingly have no control over the effect. Once removed from the liquid, the conversion will immediately stop and all converted liquids show no further anomalous properties.
5 liters per second is kind of terrifying, actually.
Put it in the ocean. The biggest bubble bath we've ever seen.
That's it. You know all those fuck ugly ass squids at the bottom of the ocean? No more. I'm done with you.
Addendum 68681. Discovery log. During routine text message surveillance, a series of texts seemingly referred to an anomalous object led to the discovery of SCP-6868 and Claus Hertz personal effects. An excerpt of text messages between Claus Hertz and Otto Knebel has been included below. I'll take the guy on the right, you take the guy on the left. Otto.
What's up?
Found a box on the side of the road. Remember opening that stuff at the warehouse?
Of course I do. You gonna open it?
You know it. Mystery box time. I hate these stupid scissors. Just cut my finger opening this.
Well, serves you right for stealing.
Hey, there could be anything in here.
It's probably some dude's mail. You're gonna feel like a horrible person in 3, 2.
What? That's weird. The box is rattling.
Congrats, you just stole someone's pet snake.
I don't think so. There's no air holes. And it's a rubber duck and a note. Yikes. Note. Hertz then sent a photo of a handwritten note which has been transcribed below. Got a new prototype from work for you. I'm sorry I haven't been there that much recently. Hopefully Bobby will keep you company while I'm gone. Love, Dad.
Oh, it's worse. You stole from a child.
Wait.
What?
Thing moves on its own. No batteries either. How?
It's kind of cute.
I love the picture of it. It's so funny.
I love him so much.
A little bigger than I was expecting, but
That's a big boy.
yeah. It's just hopping around on its own. Neat toy.
Send a video.
Look at this. I haven't touched it.
Cat's gonna eat it, lol.
He's fast. Okay, I've cornered him.
Door's locked. Could you let me in? Klaus, you coming to the door? Klaus?
During the autopsy of Klaus Hertz, all bodily fluids were found to be purified water with a large number of pink soap bubbles found inside Hertz's chest cap. That is a dark ending for a
That's
very cute
really
SCP.
fucked. That's
mean,
probably why
he
it's
cut his
afraid
finger.
of people.
I don't want to turn your body into soap.
Wait,
He
wait,
cut
no,
his
yeah, that
finger.
is why it's afraid of people.
It just doesn't want to hurt him.
The first person it saw because of the cut on his hand started like spewing soap bubbles. And died also.
Oh, great. Yeah, that would make sense. I think Bobby is traumatized.
Yeah.
I think the Foundation will manage to convey that it's fine as long as they wear gloves. At some point, and then Bobby will have a happy, fun time.
Can we get a therapist for this SCP?
Can we get a therapist for the doc? Okay, I did really like this one. Thank you for the suggestion. That's really cute.
This is good. I like this.
Alright. We finished this one.
Now when we
And
get to
then
it in
on
like
this
2047,
I think
we
I
could look
can-
back fondly.
I think I can handle this one as well. Alright. SCP-227. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-227 is to be kept in a climate-controlled room at a temperature of 21 to 24 degrees Celsius and humidity no higher than 10%. Anyone touching the object is required to wear surgical gloves. A supply of these is to be kept with SCP-227 at all times. Food, drink, cigarettes, or any other sources of contamination are not allowed inside of the containment area. Loose clothing, hair, or other adornment is not recommended. Only personnel with level 3 clearance or higher are allowed to access SCP-227, although lower-ranking staff are allowed to use the object while under supervision. If SCP-227 needs to be transported to another location, it should be sealed in an insulated airtight container filled with an inert gas. Description: SCP-227 is a bronze clockwork device measuring 10 centimeters by 16 centimeters by 26 centimeters and weighing 5 kilograms. SCP-227 is somewhat similar in appearance to reconstructions of the Antikythera mechanism, an incomplete and heavily corroded Greek artifact thought to date from approximately 100 BCE. Unlike that artifact, SCP-227 was found intact and apparently fully functional. This is partly because SCP-227 was found on land at Redacted instead at the bottom of the Mediterranean, but the lack of significant damage is remarkable. Preliminary testing of SCP-227 shows that it may have some ability to repair itself over time. Further testing is pending approval from O5 level staff. SCP-227 has one major dial with 3 faces on it. What? I just completely read that wrong. SCP-227 has one major dial with 3 hands on the front face. This dial has several concentric rings which rotate independently. The rear face has 2 major dials with 2 hands each. These dials are surrounded by a spiral groove through which some of the internal gearing is visible. A number of smaller dials are arranged around the rest of the object. The total number of these minor dials visible at once varies when the object is in use, as does the number of hands on each dial. There are 3 small cranks on the right side of SCP-227. Turning any of these sets the moving parts of SCP-227 into action. The top crank seems to cause the most rapid change. Some of the smaller hands have been observed moving at speeds of over redacted RPM. Extended use of the top crank causes SCP-227 to heat up significantly. Personnel are advised to use caution when turning the top crank to avoid damaging SCP-227 or injuring themselves. The middle and bottom crank are used for medium and fine adjustments respectively. The object is covered in a large number of inscriptions. The majority of these are in Attic Greek. Or is it just Attic Greek? However, some in various writing systems that have yet to be deciphered. These include Linear A, Cretan hieroglyphics, and one or more unknown languages. The translatable text is essentially a manual of operation for SCP-227, with the exception of one passage which states redacted. The full significance of this passage is under investigation. Early indications are that SCP-227 is an incredibly accurate astronomical computer. Symbols corresponding to the moon, sun, and planets are prominently placed on the front major dial, along with many other symbols of unknown meaning. The rear major dials have markings consistent with several ancient calendar systems. These include the Callippic, Metonic, Saros, and Sothic cycles. There are also at least 2 more previously unknown calendar systems present. Addendum SCP-227-1. Further study has revealed that SCP-227 is able to compute the locations of bodies that were only recently discovered by modern astronomers. For example, one set of hands and markings corresponds to the Kuiper Belt, or how do you fucking pronounce that?
Kuiper Belt.
Kuiper Belt. Object 50,000 Quaworf. Quaworf is difficult to detect even with the Hubble Space Telescope. How the designer of SCP-227 was able to predict its orbit is unknown. Addendum SCP-227-2. SCP-227 has demonstrated an ability to predict even aperiodic astronomical events. One researcher was turning the top crank and happened to notice a minor dial appear very briefly. Fine-tuning revealed that the minor dial first appears on a date corresponding to 23 February 1987. This was the date that the supernova SN 1987A was first observed on Earth. Addendum SCP-227-3. Advancing SCP-227 that passed the date corresponding to redacted is not possible. A force of up to 100 newtons applied to the bottom crank is unable to produce any movement past this date. Testing with additional force has not been authorized due to risk of damaging SCP-227. When the object is set to this date, a large number of dials and symbols appear which are not seen at any other setting. The meaning of this final setting is unknown. Some researchers believe that this may represent an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario, such as a wandering brown dwarf, the so-called Nemesis hypothesis, a gamma-ray burst, or redacted. Addendum SCP-227-4. The date of the final setting on SCP-227 was observed to change once, to a time redacted years later than the previous date. The symbols that appeared at this new final setting were somewhat different from the previous one, but their meaning remains unknown. Research into what may have caused this change is underway. Okay, that one's neat. Okay, do you want this one more, or do you want me to read one more? This one's kind of really small. Lord?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you want this one?
I don't care either way.
Alright, you can take it then.
Alright. Item number SCP-228. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-228 will be used to conduct experimental psychiatric testing at Site-23. SCP-228 is to be kept under glass in Observation Room 113-AD-C at Site-23. Access to Observation Room 113-AD-C will require either Level 4 authorization or a signed notification from Medical Director Light. I'm just gonna say Observation Room, fuck that. Observation Room is to be monitored by no fewer than 4 high-definition video cameras and a reinforced one-way observation mirror running the full length of the east wall. When a subject observes SCP-228, their reaction is to be documented by no fewer than 5 researchers stationed behind the observation mirror, as well as the subject's accompanying psychiatrist. Description: SCP-228 is a Polaroid photograph of variable appearance. It is apparent at this time that SCP-228 derives its subject matter from the subconscious mind of the viewer. The images produced are always visually clear, but vary in interpretive coherency. For example, one viewer may see SCP-228 to manifest a clear portrait of that viewer's father, while another causes an image of a heart-shaped object submerged in green fluid to redacted. The coherence of the image produced by SCP-228 appears to vary from subject to subject, and is theorized to have some connection to the viewer's emotional state. SCP-228's various image manifestations can be photographed normally, although the photographs will not display the ability to manifest new images. It will manifest an image when viewed remotely by video feed. After SCP-228 has manifested an image, it will remain inert, displaying the same image until that viewer looks away. At that point, it will adapt its manifestation to reflect that of the current viewer. The question of what SCP-228 manifests when unobserved is moot. SCP-228 will be used to assist members of the psychiatric staff at Site-23. During psychoanalysis, the patient, hereafter referred to as a subject, will be asked leading questions and instructed to look at SCP-228. Once the manifestation has been recorded, the subject will be instructed to look away. At no point should the interviewer view SCP-228 before the subject, as this will corrupt the record and potentially skew psychoanalysis of the subject. Addendum. As of redacted, no personnel who have previously been exposed to a visual medic agent is authorized for exposure to SCP-228, due to the possibility of subsequent data expunged. Alright, neat. Wow. SCP. Yep. Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I just realized it was muted. Give it a
Yeah.
minute, we're about to get an ad break.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Got another small. I'm gonna pet this cat while I wait. Hi, Junior.
Wow.
We powered through a fair few already. We still got like another hour.
That is true. Or we could just not.
Yeah, let's just end the stream right now, actually.
That's it. Series stops at 2:29. Fuck you.
We got bored.
No, I just hate the co-host.
Oh no.
Me demoting you to co-host on your own fucking stream.
I was gonna say, I like how you refer to him as the co-host.
For this specific sort of thing, yes. But also, yes, it's really funny that I've demoted him in that moment.
The ad break is over, but Juki's really liking the belly rubs right now.
Incredulous. Is Puggle still around? Doesn't look like it. This is so sad.
Alright, you can continue now.
Alright. SCP-229, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. No electrical devices of any kind are allowed inside or within 30 meters of the containment area. Any and all personnel entering the containment area are to be clad in lead-lined clothing and helmets. Alright, off to a strong start so far. Anything found to be infested by SCP-229 is to be immediately incinerated, and the resulting ash and debris contained and disposed of under Protocol XJR-99. Containment area is to be composed of a hollow cube of 18 centimeters thick granite, 8 meters on a side, with a single door and airlock. These are to operate with no electrical components, and these components are to be made of wood or stone whenever possible. Any organism infested with SCP-229 is to be immediately incinerated. Any items or staff exiting the containment area must be scanned and cleared by site security. Description: SCP-229 appears to be a mass of wires and cables. Superficially, they appear to be raw copper wire, insulated Ethernet cable, phone cable, power lines, and many other forms of electrical cable. The current mass weighs 94 kilograms at last measurement. SCP-229 is tentatively identified as a form of silicon-based life. SCP-229 is a highly invasive parasite, attacking anything carrying even low electrical currents. SCP-229 will grow several centimeters every hour and form connectors to attach to electrical power sources, wall socket plugs, USB connectors, etc. SCP-229 will also splice itself into power lines and existing wires if no connection is available. SCP-229 appears to feed off of electricity. It's written a little repetitively, but this is a fun concept. 229 appears to go dormant when not in the presence of an electrical source. Any electrical current entering within 30 meters, no matter how small, will immediately cause 229 to grow in the direction of the electricity. Questions regarding the possible intelligence and sensory organs of 229 are still under investigation. 229 appears to grow best on metal or plastic, but is very capable of infesting living tissue. In vertebrate animals, 229 will quickly penetrate the epidermis and other tissues, attaching to and enveloping the spine. 229 will then grow along nerve pathways and up into the brain, attaching and infesting it within a few days. This process appears to be extremely painful and can cause very erratic behavior. No shit. When the infested subject nears death, usually from massive internal bleeding and brain damage, 229 will exit the body by puncturing through the skin and attach to any nearby structures, thus beginning the cycle again. It is theorized that SCP-229 has always been present in our ecosystem, but that the technological level, and thereby the availability of electricity, was insufficient to allow its spread. With the current prevalence of wires and other electrical devices, detection can be extremely difficult. Incineration is currently the best means for SCP-229 removal. Addendum. At this time, cross-experimentation between SCP-229 and SCP-217 is only allowed with O5 approval.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I really like when an SCP is like, oh yeah, the wires burrow into the subject's brain. It appears to be painful, and it's like, fuck.
At least,
Are you sure?
I'm glad you managed to ask the D class as he was having
We're
holes
not
bored
sure.
into
He
the
did
back of
just
his
scream
brainstem.
like a lot, though.
It's the fucking panel of Kekyoin.
But no, hello, I was wrong. The mouse is actually coming Wednesday because Amazon lied to me. How could Jeff Bezos do this?
Very easily.
Do you want to do one more since the last two were really short?
Sure.
Alright.
One moment.
Also, I have a cat in my lap. Look at it.
Is it painful? The guy just screaming at the top of his lungs.
He was screaming before the question was asked. The person just calmly asked him this in the middle of the scream.
Oh, Junior
Why
wants
are
to
you
leave.
bleeding?
Why are you screaming? What's wrong with you?
Okay, just figured I'd make sure. You have a nice time with your ass.
Do you have anything you'd like to say for the record?
Alright. Item number SCP-230. You're moving the thing, goddammit. I hate you. Yes,
What a sentence
yes, we'll
to
get to
catch
that.
out of the middle.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Alright. Item number SCP-230. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-230 is to be kept in a secure room inside redacted. The room must have a controlled ventilation system so that air exiting the room can be properly filtered before it re-enters the regular ventilation system of the complex. SCP-230 is to be given anything he requests that does not violate standard procedures for SCP containment. The door is set to automatically lock every time it closes and can only be opened from outside the room. Personnel entering SCP-230's room must wear a full hazmat suit with its own oxygen supply. Personnel exposed to the air in SCP-230's room, or who come in physical contact with SCP-230, or any of SCP-230's bodily fluids, must be contained and held in observation for no less than 1 month. Personnel still exhibiting symptoms from SCP-230 after 1 month are to be terminated. If personnel are cleared by on-site staff after a month, they are then to be transferred and forbidden contact with SCP-230. Due to recent events, subjects that have been exposed and cleared by staff are required to undergo regular psychological exams. If upon exam the personnel exhibits any of the traits shown in document 23-4436-B, the personnel is to be terminated. No. Subject has made several escape attempts utilizing personnel exposed to SCP-230. This represents a low threat due to the fact that exposed personnel are usually impaired. However, personnel will become violent in order to stay in SCP-230's presence. Description: SCP-230 is a male Caucasian with a lean build and gaunt appearance. SCP-230 is 185 centimeters, 6 feet 1 inches tall, 68.04 kilograms, 150 pounds, and appears to be in his early 30s. He wears bright clothing and prefers the colors pink and yellow. Ew. SCP-230 is a very cheerful individual who appears to be incapable of negative emotions. Ew. SCP-230 secretes a chemical similar in composition to heroin from his pores. The chemical has been named Compound Redacted. Once secreted from his pores, it evaporates immediately and contaminates the air around SCP-230. Compound Redacted seems to be effective in as little as 30 parts per million in gaseous form. When inhaled, Compound Redacted causes extreme euphoria in subjects. Analysis on Class D personnel under the effects of SCP-230 indicate they had dopamine levels greater than 5 times of what is expected during sexual climax. Yeah, that checks out. Subjects express impairment similar to the effects of heroin. Yeah, that checks out.
The
Subjects
object
become
is
willing-
similar in composition to heroin, and seems to have similar effects to heroin.
Yeah. Subjects become willing to comply with any request SCP-230 makes, provided it does not involve leaving SCP-230's presence. Yeah, I wonder why. Compound Redacted. Okay, I'm just gonna say compound. Compound is present in all of SCP-230's bodily fluids. Exposure is possible even by contact with SCP-230's skin. Exposure to the compound will result in immediate addiction. Withdrawal symptoms are extreme and have a 30% mortality rate. Symptoms include loss of appetite, tremors, panic, vomiting, diarrhea, irritability, dementia, insanity, blindness, and hemorrhaging, though symptoms vary from subject to subject. Symptoms typically last for around 2 weeks before subsiding. The symptoms appear to be determined by how much of compound redacted the subject is exposed to. Subjects that ingest any of SCP-230's bodily fluids, i.e. saliva, blood, etc., have a mortality rate from withdrawal of 100%. Lamau. SCP-230 was found in an apartment in Redacted with 20 people acting as his servants. SCP-230 seemed to be actively attempting to limit the number of people he exposed. Several bodies of exposed persons were found on the premises. When questioned about them, SCP-230 replied, "Things were getting crowded, so I had to ask a few of them to stop breathing."
Oh
I
my
see.
god. Drop dead.
He said politely, presumably. SCP-230 appears to be under the effects of Compound Redacted, but does not seem to be impaired by it in any way. Attempts to alter SCP-230's mood have proven ineffective. Seems like a dangerous thing to try and do, but you know. Use of various drugs known to cause depression only resulted in SCP-230 producing more of Compound Redacted, and thus were ineffective.
I really like that they're like, here's this man who's like really happy. How do we make him sad? What'll that do?
It didn't work.
No, I do not need to
SCP-230
see your rage's desire. I do not need to see those. I believe it.
SCP-230 is a very friendly individual and will candidly engage in conversation with any personnel. SCP-230 is unaware of how or when he began secreting Compound Redacted. But when questioned about his past, SCP-230 replied that he has been secreting Compound Redacted as long as he can remember. SCP-230 prefers to talk about things he considers good or gay. SCP-230 has some psychological attachment to the word gay. When asked to describe himself, SCP-230 uses the word gay 6 times gaily or gaiety?
I'm imagining it's a combination of gay deity,
Oh.
gaiety.
Gaiety 4 times, and the words gayest once when SCP-230 referred to himself as the gayest man alive. Note by Dr. Redacted. SCP-230's Preoccupation with the word gay has nothing to do with sexual orientation. SCP-230 doesn't appear to have a sexual orientation due to a lack of interest in sex entirely. This makes sense, seeing as SCP-230 experiences the same amount of pleasure doing any given activity, making sex unnecessary. So, all you fucking freaks out there. Addendum
No orgy.
230-1. Class 2 Personnel Researcher Redacted was accidentally exposed to compound during research. Redacted was retained and sent to treatment for the duration of withdrawal symptoms. After 1 month, Redacted was released after being cleared by medical staff. 2 months later, Redacted was found trying to break into SCP-230's containment area. Redacted violently and injured several personnel before she was detained. Redacted was terminated after examination, and precautions have been made to prevent further occurrences. See document 230-4436-B. And the data for that document is expunged. Thanks.
Great.
As opposed
I
to,
was gonna
what if we
point
just
out that
fucking
I'm
shoot
pretty
him?
sure the literal name of this article is just the gayest man alive.
Yeah,
And,
it was.
Yeah.
And I saw that, like,
Back
this
in
is gonna be
high
funny.
school, I found that one really funny. Fuck.
Yeah. Maybe we don't, actually. No, there's nothing
I'm gonna
too
turn off Twitch stream and we're gonna run over it. We're not reading this out, the whole thing. We're gonna get a general, hey, this the bad thing is what happens.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
gonna have to pass advanced stink test. I think we pass on this one.
Shit. Alright.
No. Just in case.
Noteworthy things. Police raid satanic sex cult save 7. Scarlet
Also,
King.
Children of the Scarlet King.
Yeah, I
if
think this is
if
the
that
Scarlet
sets off
King's
any
brides,
alarms.
which, yeah, I don't think I want to read on stream.
I don't
As
think I want
there's
to read
pretty
any of
graphic
this.
descriptions of a lot of things happening. Is this the one where they 110 Montauk? No, is it? It is 110 Montauk. Okay. God, that is a horrifying procedure.
I'm good.
Yeah, we're not reading this
I
one.
would be down to read this if
Yeah,
it weren't on
we're
stream.
not reading one. Not reading this one right now. Alright, cool.
Tragic.
Bringing the stream back. There we go. I think it's over to me now. Or did you...
Read the paper.
I'm not gonna watch the clip right now, Desire. I'll check it out after stream. Item number SCP-232. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. Moment. SCP-232 is to be kept in a locked safe in the cognito-hazard wing of Site-73. When not in use for testing, its batteries are to be removed. When batteries are not installed, SCP-232 may be handled safely by any authorized staff member. The Foundation is to monitor online auction houses and dealers of vintage stories. Sorry, it slipped there. Vintage toys.
You okay there, Freud?
And acquire
vintage
any products of
toy.
the same model as SCP-232 for testing and disposal. Any other instances of SCP-232 discovered are to be archived appropriately. When batteries are installed, personnel other than D-Class are not to handle SCP-232 for any period longer than necessary to install and remove batteries. Staff members who have been exposed to works in the Jack Proton franchise in any format are not to handle SCP-232 for any period of time while batteries are installed. D-Class carrying SCP-232 for testing purposes are to be monitored at all times and terminated if SCP-232 related behavior should pose a security risk. The copyright, publication, and merchandising rights of the Jack Proton novels and all spin-off media are to be held by Springfield Crown Publishing, a Foundation front company for the purposes of keeping the works out of print, thereby preventing activation of anomalous properties in any SCP-232 instances that may exist outside containment. In the event of any public occurrences of SCP-232 behavior, the Foundation shall liaise... How do you pronounce that?
What is it? Hang on, sorry.
Liaise with local law enforcement authorities to recover the artifact and... Sorry, Junior is like crunching on his claws on my bed and it's really distracting. He is chewing on them things. Sorry, Jesus. Issue Class A amnestics to affected parties and as appropriate. The Foundation shall encourage world governments to enact extensions in international copyright law as necessary to prevent the Jack Proton franchise from lapsing into the public domain. In the event that any Jack Proton franchise material becomes public domain, DDoS techniques and/or mass deployment of Class E amnestics is authorized as appropriate. Description: SCP-232 is a mass-produced children's toy of early 1950s manufacture, composed primarily of tin and a battery-powered electric light apparatus, with an exterior painted to resemble a laser gun of the type featured in popular science fiction of the early 20th century. A hinge section at the base of SCP-232's handle opens to accept two standard AA alkaline batteries. When batteries have been installed correctly and the trigger is pulled, a small red electric light in the barrel lights up. SCP-232's cognition-affecting properties become active whenever SCP-232 is picked up or held or carried by a human being while it has working batteries installed. Within 5 to 30 seconds of picking up SCP-232, the person handling it will begin speaking in English, regardless of any previous fluency with the language or lack thereof, in a manner resembling the speech patterns of preteen and/or adolescent American youth culture circa 1920-1960. Persons so affected will deny that anything is unusual about their manner of speech and will insist that they have always spoken thusly. This behavior continues until approximately 15 to 20 seconds after the test subject is induced to relinquish possession of SCP-232, after which speech patterns return to normal. In test subjects that have had no exposure to any works from the Jack Proton franchise, SCP-232's effects do not continue past this stage, and the subject retains no memory of their behavior while under its influence. Patent information embossed on the handle of SCP-232 and historical analysis of non-anomalous artifacts, identical in appearance, indicate that SCP-232 is a mass-produced atomic zapper toy, produced by the Redacted Corporation from 1953 to 1958 as a licensed merchandising tie-in to Jack Proton's Space Cop, a series of young adult science fiction novels by American author M.K. Snyder. Approximately redacted units were manufactured and sold during the toy's production run, of which an unknown quantity remain in existence today. The Foundation has acquired 138 units since containment of SCP-232 began, but all but 3 of which have shown no anomalous properties under testing. The examination has indicated no discernible differences between anomalous and non-anomalous units. The Jack Proton series, consisting primarily of 15 novels and several dozen short stories written between 1940 and Snyder's death in 1973, revolve around the eponymous Major John Patrick Jack Proton, an officer of the Galactic Police Department, in a 27th century setting where the human race has colonized the entirety of the Earth's solar system. The setting is typical of early 20th century juvenile science fiction and relies heavily on soft sci-fi depictions of space travel common in literature of the time, including the existence of intelligent life on planets within the solar system, breathable atmosphere on the moon and other heavenly bodies, faster-than-light travel without relativistic complications, and sapient artificial intelligence and computers based on vacuum tube technology. Yeah. The novels were additionally adapted into a nationally syndicated radio program from 1947 to 1952, a television series aired by the NBC network from 1953 to 1954, and a black and white movie released to theaters in 1956. The Jack Proton franchise bears no demonstrable anomalous properties itself and may be read, viewed, or listened to safely, provided that the person doing so does not come into contact with SCP-232. In subjects who have previously read, watched, or listened to any installments of the Jack Proton franchise, SCP-232's secondary effect begins to manifest after approximately 90 to 120 seconds of physical contact with the toy. During this stage, the test subject's memories and personality are radically altered to the extent that the subject believes him/herself to be a resident of the fictional 27th century setting of the Jack Proton novels. Test subjects in this stage refuse to answer to their given names and will during interviews describe life stories and career experiences of life in the 27th century, which are internally consistent with themselves and the canonical details about the setting, often describing themselves as close associates of Jack Proton or other major characters featured in the franchise. Polygraph examinations given to test subjects in this state have consistently indicated that the test subjects believe these accounts to be true. In the third and final stage of SCP-232 exposure, occurring approximately 30 to 45 minutes after first contact, test subjects begin to experience severe sensory hallucinations, to the effect that they now perceive the world around them to be the fictional setting of the Jack Proton franchise. In this state, test subjects almost invariably believe that they are members of Jack Proton's Junior Action Squad and have been assigned a mission of utmost interplanetary security, which researchers and security personnel of the Foundation are involved in or are attempting to prevent them from completing. Though attempts to neutralize Foundation personnel with SCP-232 have invariably proven futile, test subjects have been noted to resort to physical violence on occasion. Persons afflicted by the later stages of SCP-232 exposure will resist any attempts to remove SCP-232 from their possession, and if separated from it, will attempt to recover it by any means available to them. Effects of the later stages of exposure wear off gradually over a period of approximately 3 to 6 hours after SCP-232 is removed from the subject's person. An approximately redacted percent of tests involving long-term exposure, test subjects have retained memories of their artificial persona after dissipation of the effect, resulting in cognitive dissonance and associated psychological impairments. SCP-232 came to the Foundation's attention on Redacted following the arrest of Martin Redacted, a retired steelworker living in Redacted, PA, for disorderly conduct following an affray at a shopping mall. Redacted, who insisted on referring to himself as Space Cadet Max Mars, was taken into custody after confronting several mall patrons and brandishing SCP-232, demanding to know the location of the Phobos Ruby, an artifact the theft of which from the Martian Museum of History drives the plot of the novella Murder on the Io Express. During debriefing prior to amnestic therapy, Redacted stated that he had owned one of these toys as a child and had been a fan of the series, and purchased SCP-232 from an online auction site for nostalgic value because he had so much fun playing cops and aliens with it in his youth.
Yeah.
I didn't read whatever, or is that just in the... Oh, that's in the thing, okay. I was like, what do you mean there's a footnote? For what? Oh my god.
Ooh.
Alright. All interviews conducted by Dr. J. Andrews. Test subjects had no exposure to the Jack Proton franchise prior to their acquisition by the Foundation. All interviews conducted 3 hours after initial exposure to SCP-232. Interview log 232-1. Test subject D65, Caucasian male, 37 years old. Franchise exposure: 6 Jack Proton novels. I'm going to forgo reading the novel names.
Bitch.
It's like Jack Proton Space Cop, Jack Proton Goes to Mars, All Humans Must Die, The Great Callisto Caper, War in Space, The Night the Lights Went Out, and Ganymede. We're not reading any more than that. We get the gist of it.
That was all of them, you fucking clown.
There's gonna be more.
We'll see. I mean, I think you should because I like the flavor of them, but I think they might all be the same.
Fine. They're not, but okay. Begin log.
Alright, who's who?
I'll be the doctor.
Yeah.
Begin log. Good afternoon, D65. How are you today?
Excuse me, sir?
I'm sorry. What is your name?
Billy, sir. Billy McMurcury.
You're speaking more politely than usual, Billy.
Gosh, sir, I wouldn't dare sass off to a real-life scientist.
I see. How old are you, Billy?
14. but that doesn't mean I'm not a real space cop. See? Jack Proton gave me this official space deputy badge himself.
D65 gestures to the D-class identification badge pinned to his jumpsuit. I see. Do you work for Jack Proton, then?
Golly, sir, I sure do. I'm part of his junior action squad.
And what is it that you do for him?
I'm on a super secret mission right now. I'm not sure what I'm even supposed to tell you. I better check in with him first. Is there a hyperphone in the next room?
Where do you believe you are at this moment, Billy? D65 looks around the interview room, including out a window overlooking the Site 73 parking lot.
Gee, sir, I'm no architect, but judging from the view out of the window, this has to be Space Station Delta.
D65 points at a 1989 Buick LeSabre, owned by Dr. Graham.
Say, is that Admiral Jove's flagship docked out there? Please say you'll let me get his autograph.
We'll see. I'm gonna snooze this ad break. End log. Interview log 232-2. Test subject D11. Caucasian male, 47 years old. Franchise exposure. 6 episodes of the Jack Proton Hour radio program, encompassing the 2-part stories Marooned on Mars, The Prince of Neptune, and A Pioneer's Homecoming. Begin log. Good afternoon.
Greetings, humanoid.
Would you please identify yourself for the record?
I am D-Bot, unit model 11503, at your service.
The radio program is the only version of the Jack Proton franchise to feature intelligent robots capable of speech. A robot sidekick originally planned for the television series was scrapped due to budget concerns. Novels published after the radio program was introduced acknowledged the existence of robots, but stated that the building of sapient robots had been restricted by the robotics laws instituted by the Space Congress, and none are ever directly introduced to the reader. You're a robot, you say. You look very lifelike.
I was programmed to appease humanoid sensibilities.
And how old are you?
I was activated at the Advanced Robotics Facility in Knoll, New Hampshire, on Earth, on January 12th, 2592.
What is your purpose?
I am a fully modular service robot. My purpose is to assist Major John Patrick Proton of the Galactic Police Department in the apprehension of dangerous criminals.
When you say you're fully modular, what does that entail?
My body has been designed to make use of a wide variety of customizable limbs. I may remove my factory-installed appendages at will and replace them with those designed for specific purposes.
Could you please demonstrate now by removing your left arm?
Affirmative.
D11 grabs his left arm at the shoulder with his right hand and attempts unsuccessfully to remove it by unscrewing it from its socket.
I seem to be experiencing a malfunction. Please refer to my operating manual for information on how to resolve this difficulty.
Never mind, D-Bot. Are you capable of solving logic problems?
I am programmed to answer any and all queries directed to me.
A man has been sentenced to death. The morning of his execution, the executioner tells the condemned man he is to either hanged or drowned, and tells the man to ask him one yes or no question, which he is compelled to answer truthfully. If the answer to the question is yes, then the man will be hanged. If the answer is no, then the man will be drowned. The man asks, "Are you going to drown me?" Will the man be hanged or will be drowned? D11 is silent for 38 seconds. D-Bot?
Error.
I beg your pardon.
If answer equals no, then result equals drowning. But no equals incorrect if result equals drowning. Therefore drowning equals impossible. Result equals hanging. Hanging equals impossible if answer equals no. Error. Does not compute. System overload. Consult operator's manual for...
D11 slumps over and ceases responding to outside stimuli. End log.
L.
Let me finish my drink real quick. Alright.
I imagine that's how a peasant would feel if you gave him a Dorito.
When did you get here?
He's been here.
I know. Interview log 232-3. Test subject D67. I still think the decision to just abbreviate to the first 2 digits of a D-class's designation
For ones like this, yeah,
is
that's fine.
probably the best decision we've ever made.
Anything past 4 digits, I say that's fair game.
Yeah. D67, Caucasian female, 26 years old. Franchise exposure: 1 short story collection, Starship Days. 1 unauthorized fan fiction short story, Major Sarah. Forward: none of the official Jack Proton stories feature female characters as protagonists or action-oriented supporting characters. Prior
Was
to
written
interview
50s.
232-3, all experiments with female test subjects had resulted in the subject developing the personality of a damsel in distress or innocent bystander persona. Major Sarah, an unauthorized piece of short fiction published in 1972 by the Fanzine Junior Action Squad, which details the experience of the first woman to join the Galactic Space Department and her subsequent forbidden love affair with Jack Proton, was introduced in order to determine whether third-party fictions set in the Jack Proton universe would have any impact on the results of exposure. Begin log. Good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir.
D69.
Yes?
Where the fuck did D69 come from?
I think it's just a typo.
D67 rises to her feet and salutes. Dr. Andrews returns the salute. Dr. Andrews. Why am I reading that? Hold on, give me a moment. Okay. As you were, please state your name for the record.
Sir, Lieutenant First Class Samantha Marie Van Sattensburg, sir. I hate that.
What a name, Marie Van Satternberg. No need to be so formal, Lieutenant. Please relax.
Sir, I don't get where I am today. I didn't get where I am today by relaxing, sir.
I'm not an officer. You don't need to call me sir.
Sir, Yes, sir. Yes.
You mentioned getting where you are today. Where is that?
I'm currently the youngest officer in the Galactic Police Department.
How old are you?
17.
You were commissioned at 17?
Not bad for a girl, huh?
Why did they accept you so young?
Because I wasn't wasting my time wearing frilly dresses and playing with dolls, that's why.
You must have been very goal-oriented to make it so young. Why did you want to be a space cop so badly?
To work with Jack Proton, of course.
Why him specifically?
Because he's the best there is. He's smart, he's strong, and... Can I tell you a secret?
Everything we discussed here is strictly confidential, Lieutenant.
Well, he's dreamy.
Dreamy?
Those beautiful blue eyes, that rock-solid jaw, those bulging biceps. Can't you just imagine him holding your hand on the walk home? Sharing a malt with you at the drugstore? Dancing close together in the spring formal?
I can't say it had occurred to me.
I just have to meet him. I'll introduce myself and he'll be so impressed by how much I've accomplished. And we'll talk about work, spaceball, and music, and maybe he'll ask me if I'll go with him for dinner at a movie at the Hover Inn. Wouldn't that be a dream come true? I'll wear my hair down and put on my prettiest dress. I mean, I don't wear dresses like some little girl obsessed with princesses and space ponies, but that doesn't mean I can't wear a dress for him. I bet he loves a girl who knows how to dress up.
End log. This one isn't too bad.
I think the best part is Mord reading all of that.
Yeah, it was really funny hearing Mord read this.
What? I can read for a bit.
I know. Did fish work? It's open.
I'm perfectly comfortable reading funny.
Why'd fish not work?
What? Oh.
Bridge did a fish and it didn't work. Oh, it's not connected to Twitch. You don't need to see that.
Wow. You forget you saw this. No.
Don't know why I even get... Okay, this is your fault and I should kill you. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
There, that should work. There you go. It's been... Nobody's been using fish lately, not even WeFit, and it's pissing me off.
Ah.
I haven't got all the achievements on it yet. One of them is to literally be visited by the creator of the game, and I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, sorry, I don't particularly want to have to bother being visited by fucking Gary Newman for an achievement. I don't care.
Yeah. Would you like to take over now, or should I read one more small one? Because this one doesn't.
Sorry, I have a bad relationship with polyhedron SCPs, as you know.
That's fair. How long have we been streaming? 2 hours, 15 minutes. That's not bad. We can keep going a little bit, though. Item number, SCP-233. Object class, Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP-233 is to be kept within a cubical vanadium-lined container, dimensions 23 by 23 by 23. The unit of measure is irrelevant. A 23-meter safe zone is to be established around the object. No D-class personnel older or younger than 23 years of age are to be allowed within the safe zone. For optimal results, Class D personnel with birthdays falling on the 23rd of the month should be used. No firearms other than those chambered for special purposes, 23 caliber rounds, are to be allowed within the containment chamber. Shift changes will occur at 23 minutes past the hour, with the final shift change occurring at 23:23 Greenwich Mean Time exactly. Under no This is gonna be a... Look at this paragraph, man.
Yeah.
Under no
Also
circumstances are redacted millimeter ammunition, Class D personnel born in the month of redacted, or on the redacted, or 20 redacted of the month, or any redacted-sided object to be brought within the 23-meter safe zone. Personnel are cautioned to take special care at redacted minutes past the hour, especially redacted hours, as this is the time period during which the object is most active. For best results, the 23-meter safe zone should be cleared of all personnel during that time period. I was about to hit an ad break, and I'm debating if I want to wait for it or just read.
Yeah, I got the fucking chemist's wet dream of a polyhedron, and you get 23. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'll wait for the ad.
Yeah. I still am not fully over that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was such a pain in the ass to read. I don't even remember what it actually did besides generate earthquakes.
I don't remember it like at
just
all.
a thing it did.
Alright, the ad break.
I think it was like a tangential side effect of what it did.
Alright, it's over now. Description. SCP-2320... not 2323. It would have made more sense if this was SCP-2323, but I can't imagine it was actually written around that time. They should request to move it there because it'd be funnier. SCP-233 is a 23-sided polyhedron, each face being made up of both an equilateral triangle and a straight line simultaneously. Because of the space-time altering nature of the object, the exact physical makeup of the object cannot be emulated in 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional form. SCP-233 has the unusual property of altering the laws of mathematics in its vicinity, causing rounding errors to occur unless calculated using a base 23 system. Mathematical calculations carried out in base 23, however, have the benefit of being carried out at 23 times the normal speed. For this reason, destruction of the item has been postponed pending possible integration into redacted. The difficulty of converting binary information to base 23 mathematics aside, the device has already shown its value to the organization. See Report 234, redacted by Dr. Nana Redacted, regarding her unusual solution to the unified field theory. Unfortunately, SCP-233 appears to have a particularly violent effect upon occurrences of the number redacted, occurring within its safe zone. See Report, read Death of Dr. Nana Redacted on Redacted. Chemical breakdown of the affected object proceeds at a rapid rate. Direct contact results in immediate destruction of the object in question by breaking into component atoms within 0.23 seconds. One note, SCP-233 appears to be triggered not by the actual physical properties of the object in question in any empirical sense, but by the perceptions of nearby observers. For instance, it is safe to handle SCP-233 using a 2.74 meter long pole. They're just fucking poking it from outside of the safe zone. So long as no observers within the danger zone perceive said pole as being redacted feet in length. The reason for this is unknown, but the observer effect recorded in classical quantum physics may be involved. See Report 77 Heisenberg. Addendum 233-A. Upon the recommendation of Dr. Alto Clef, the research committee has petitioned to redesignate this object as SCP-2323. Yeah! Although this would place the item outside the standard numbering scheme. SCP-233's mathematical nature requires that utmost precautions be taken regarding all numbering schemes involving data related with the project. This was dramatically illustrated during Incident Redacted, during which the object's accidental contact with a redacted volt battery used to power a personal music device caused an approximately redacted 1000% increase in the object's range of effect to 232.32 kilometers, resulting in deaths of the entire home team at a nearby AAA League baseball game. Said game being at the top of the redacted inning at the time, and the destruction of all computer files containing information on SCP-233's interaction with the number redacted. For the safety of all personnel, future reference to the number redacted in conjunction with SCP-233 is to be avoided at all costs. Addendum B. Under no circumstances are pregnant female personnel to be allowed within the safe zone. I like how that one's not really explained at all. It's just like, hey, maybe don't go near it if you're pregnant.
I mean, well, if you ask the woman how far along she is and she doesn't say 23 weeks, she's gonna die.
I kind of understand why there's so many redacteds, because purely they can't say the number.
Yeah, this is actually like on brand.
Fucks up.
And I like to imagine that future reference to the number is 69 just because funny. This seems like a not quite gag SCP in how it's written. I like this. Other popular works written by this. Who's responsible for this?
I swear to God, if it's John D.
If it's if it's the sole writer of fucking SCP these days. Oh, never mind. I guess we get to go fuck ourselves.
Oh, is this just more of Dr.
Oh, is this Clef?
Yeah.
Huge. I don't know. What all was Clef?
But like, who were you? Does it just have it listed somewhere who the author of each article is, and I'm crazy, or like? 'Cause I don't see it. I want to know. Who did this?
Down fully. I see.
This is Dr. Clef's personal file. Dead egg sponge, dead egg sponge, dead egg sponge, dead egg sponge. 7-course Chinese dinner. Come on, work with me.
Work with me here.
Alright, cool. We're not reading all that right
I like
now.
to imagine every time the 05 was answering, he put over the fucking, the redacted noise. Just effectively censoring whatever he was saying, so he didn't have to actually hear it.
Oh. We can get a fair few more in, I think. Unless you're getting tired and kind of want to call it. It has been almost 2.5 hours.
We'll do 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Set it away, or that is all, Felix.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were reading. I read like the past 2.
Fuck you. Yeah, okay. Item number SCP-234. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-234 is contained at Containment Area 06-234, which encompasses the 300-meter radius red zone of SCP-234. The main laboratory building within the red zone is built as an open-air structure, with no doors or closed windows. No closed containers or spaces of any kind are allowed within the red zone of SCP-234. Any space which inadvertently becomes closed within the red zone is to be declared a Class 2 dimensional/implosion hazard and must be remotely destroyed on-site following mandatory evacuation of the laboratory area. Personnel trapped within a closed space are to be considered lost. Experimentation with SCP-234 may only be performed with express prior permission from at least 2 Level 4 personnel. Experimentation, which introduces closed spaces into the red zone of SCP-234, may not exceed 1 liter in volume and must be treated as a Class 3 dimensional/implosion hazard. Description: SCP-234 is a species of organism of presumed extra-dimensional origin resembling fish, measuring approximately 25 millimeters in length. SCP-234 does not appear to have any eyes or light-sensitive organs, but navigate via a highly evolved sense of echolocation. It maintains buoyancy via a gas-filled organ similar to a swim bladder, which allows it to float in the air, and exhibits behavior consistent with an omnivorous scavenger organism, though to date it has not been observed consuming any terrestrial organic matter. SCP-234 appears to only be able to exist within a closed, air-filled space, and will spontaneously come into existence whenever such a closed space exists or is brought within the red zone, an area of approximately 300 meter radius in a remote area in the mountains near Redacted. When an SCP-234 instance is startled, killed, brought out of the red zone, or the closed space containing the specimen is breached, all matter, including air, within the closed space is immediately extra-dimensionally evacuated with sufficient force to cause a catastrophic implosion within the surrounding area. SCP-234 was discovered following a series of incident reports and disappearances of backcountry hikers near Redacted. A Foundation survey team sent to the area inadvertently created a closed space with a standard adverse weather camping tent. Oh, that's unfortunate. Whose subsequent implosion resulted in the disappearance of 1 research personnel and severe injuries to another 2 agents. Research is ongoing into how SCP-234 is capable of extra-dimensional movement. Experimentation is hampered by the inability to study SCP-234 outside of closed spaces, and attempts to trace evacuated objects via the use of tracking devices has yielded no results. To date, objects evacuated by specimens of SCP-234 have never been found again. Addendum 234-1. Incident Log 234-31. On Redacted, Dr. Redacted accidentally introduced a closed space into the red zone of SCP-234 in the form of a sealed coffee thermos. You fuck. Upon opening the container, the resulting implosion startled 4 additional SCP-234 instances within the testing area, causing a chain reaction that inflicted severe damage to the laboratory as well as causing injuries to 6 research personnel. Post-incident photographs of the remains of Dr. Redacted are kept on file as a warning to research personnel assigned to SCP-234 as to the consequences of carelessness during experimentation.
Oh yeah, look at this mutilated corpse. You don't want to end up like that guy, do ya, huh? No coffee.
Okay. If you bring fucking spiked coffee into the workspace one more goddamn time, you're gonna look like this.
Me when I walk into the area and open my mouth and my lungs are in enclosed space. How much determines if it's enclosed or not? Because it gotta be pretty airtight to technically not be closed. Or to be closed. Like, where's the threshold of like, oh, technically there's like this subatomic level, like the gap between there? Or is it just like generally it's like, oh yeah, it was mostly closed. It's gonna fucking explode.
So I think obviously for the sake of the story, it can't be like inside organic material or like creatures.
Yeah.
But seemingly it can just kind of. Actually, wait, no, this is implied to be like a living creature, right? That
Yeah,
this is just
I'm not
alive.
really sure the connection between the weird fish thing and the implosion.
A species of organism. Okay, so I guess the idea there would be, why would it swim directly into the mouth of a creature, only to, you know, immediately get startled and kaboom explode. I guess that would be the logic there.
You're not finding a good party? That's just Party Finder for you. I had a run earlier today that I had to carry on floor 7. I had to carry that run. I shouldn't be carrying anything with my setup. And then still someone complained at the end of it, like, oh, 13-minute run, this is awful. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you should have fucking done better. Maybe if I didn't have to do half of everything, including the damage when I'm in fucking below average gear, maybe it wouldn't have been 13 minutes. Oh, that'll be it for today's stream. Thank you everybody for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I can't believe they died.